Welcome back.
Hey.
Treat. Dog Culture Podcast. We back at it. We synchronized with these black shirts. Man, oh man, we got some sauce for y'all today.
I need black shirt. Hey, get your BAM juice. Shout to my man Christian Varner.
Yes, sir.
BAM juice, baby. Start the day off right.
Toxin out your body.
You hear me?
So y'all know a little something about that.
Yeah.
Mark, man, you seem all today, boy. What's good?
Struggling, bro.
Yeah.
Had a night, bro. I had a night.
Okay. All right, let's get it done. I got my little DJ scratching the scratch. You know what I mean? Feeling it today.
You know,
but I wanted for us to really talk about what we want to talk about.
Right.
I don't know if y'all saw that Plies joint. He was like, football ain't all we have. It's all we choose to have. I'll get back to that later. But
that's true though.
I know we had something that we talked about as we going on this journey of redefining the dog, right? And kind of breaking down what that means. And you know, calling all dogs today. All right, we call them all dogs.
Yeah. And
I really want us to dive into the dog mentality, right? And what that means.
Spell that for me.
Up with it.
Spell that.
Spell it.
Spell mentality.
Mentality. M-A-N. Mentality. Nah. You really want me to spell it though?
No.
Okay. I'm just
crazy.
So when y'all hear that word dog though, when you hear the word dog, before we, talk about what's on the shirt, when you hear the word dog, if you heard somebody was called a dog, what did that mean?
It was an animal.
No, like if I was describing someone and I say, yo, he a dog, what is that?
He's an animal.
He's an animal?
In human form.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Straight like that.
Okay.
I had shout out to my man Eric. We had his son on the hill yesterday, and dog, I was in full form with just like explaining what the culture was all about. My camera guy wasn't there, but it was like, yo, I was breaking it down, and then I started getting like goosebumps, yo.
And why don't you bring us into that conversation?
So, and then rest in heaven, my little cousin Sean Hatton. But I was telling this kid the type of desperation you have to have when you're chasing your dreams. And I said, sometimes I get in a place where when if I got one rep, if I'm working out, let's say I'm working out or I'm doing something that is, it requires a lot of strength and a lot of effort, I will put Sean into the equation. And in my head, I'm like, yo, if I hit this rep.
For those that don't know who Sean is, go ahead, tell them.
Oh, that's my little cousin, Sean Hatton. He passed away in 2008, I believe, or 2009. Yeah, so that's my guy. It's like he was like my little bro. And Mark knew him, you know what I'm saying? They live in the same neighborhood. That was around the way. Yeah, that's my youngin', man. And he passed away a while ago, but I got him tatted on my chest. We always talk about, like, yo, when you get to the NFL, I'm gonna move in with you. And I was like, I got you, bro. So, that was my guy, man. But, and that was actually the first time I lost someone really close to me that, like, it hit close to home. And I almost didn't make it. And that's the mindset, dog. I almost didn't make it back to being, like, a normal person. Like, I kind of lost it and went, like, I isolated myself from everybody. I didn't talk to people. And I don't know, it's just, I kind of made my way back. But I'm saying that to say, when I get in those situations, in my mind, I'm like, yo, if you hit this rep, Sean will be back. And sometimes you got to, like, kind of find the desperation within yourself to get the job done. And that's like, yo, I could bring him back with this rep right here. And, yo, I promise you, I find a different strength that I didn't know I had it, but the why was so big for that one rep that I found it. So, and I was just telling them about, like, that's how sometimes I tell like I tricked my mind into believing that I have to find it in order for something to have, like, if I could bring him back, that'd be crazy, right? So I'm like, shoot, well, I gotta find whatever I need to get it done. And so when I was breaking it down to him, you could see him start like his workout, you know, he a hard rep, but it wasn't what I was looking for. And then like eventually at the end of the workout, it just was like, it was like night and day. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. Mm-hmm. What about you, Mark? When you hear that word dog?
Tenacity, bro. Just going after it by any means. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, back in the day when I heard a dog, I would definitely think about that. Recently, with, you know, with the brand and everything, I didn't even bring this up to Mike yet, but I feel like we also have to establish what's your pedigree. You know, you got different breeds of dogs. So you might have one that's just
brilliant. It's brilliant.
But then you might have one that's just real loyal. You know what I'm saying? So as I start to dive deeper and deeper into this whole culture, this whole lifestyle, I'm realizing that a dog can be, you know, associated in many ways. It can be looked at, it can be viewed in different lenses. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how you have E.T. and you have your personality test and stuff.
Right. This assessment.
Yeah, the disassessment. I'm thinking about the same thing nowadays when I hear the word dog and everything, because you might have one that's just he's loyal to you. You got the other dude that just he'll go after it. So just kind of figuring out like what's your type and how can you bring out the most of who it is that you are. Yeah.
I don't got no type.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be all over the place with this one. So just bear with me.
No, that was solid, bro. I fool with that. Heavy, yeah. I dig that. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper though.
Okay.
Right, as it relates to the ladies though.
Hey, sexy lady. That song came on last night. Shout out to my man Chris Campbell. Got married last night. Married the love of his life. Anisha Campbell.
7 out of 9. 7 out of 9.
7, 8.
Married now?
8, right?
Nah, Mac ain't married neither.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Dot ain't married yet.
Dot is married. But we'll get into that.
Okay. Let's not even talk. Okay. Anyway, we'll let that fly over.
Yeah. Never happened.
Yeah. But when you heard that word dog as it relates to a man and a woman relationship, or many relationships.
Oh, right.
Yeah, dog. How that resonate with you?
Like, so you talking about how women used to say all men are dogs?
We could start there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think the term itself is but here's the thing, you gotta look at the
it a word of endearment?
The spelling though. You gotta look at the spelling. You know what I'm saying? It's two different.
But just in the context of what is used. We're gonna get to the dog on the chest, but
yeah. I feel like it's like it's the stereotype, but I think it's changing though. I do think it's changing.
Do you think? You think it is?
I think it's changing because not a lot, but there are people like myself who are trying to show what real relationships look like. You know what I'm saying? And like Mark said, loyalty, what loyalty looks like, knowing that loyalty is actually a good thing. Like it doesn't make you lesser than, or it doesn't make you not a man because you don't go around and try to get at every John walking. You know what I mean? Right. I even know guys who aren't married, who are just loyal because it's in them type thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like the more people are able to see it, it's like the guy who ran the mile under 4 minutes or under 5 minutes or something like that, right? When you see it's possible, then you start to believe it's like this happens. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay,
if somebody else can do it, there are others out there that's doing it. You know what I mean? So now I can do it. Prime example, I'm always doing this. Prime example, I had the kid on the tire yesterday. he started pulling it and he couldn't move. He was walking, he was like, "Arr." And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Because he was 14. I was like, that's crazy. Had a kid out here who was 12 who was pulling it the other day. Next rep, he ran with it. Like, if a 12-year-old did it, of course I can do it. So now it's possible, and watch me do it. So now we have men who are out here saying, yo, like, I love my wife, or I love my girl, and I'm loyal simply because that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? And because I respect her enough, you know what I mean, to be committed to what I said I was going to do. So when we have people out here saying that, yeah, like, I don't have eyes for other women because, like, I'm in love with my wife. You know what I'm saying? My wife is my wife. And now we got other people like, oh, okay, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people go with the wave, right? You know what I'm saying? You grow up, you got an OG, yeah, man, you know what I mean, FDs, whatever. But you grow up and then you start to embody that mindset. But when you start hanging out with people at a level of like, yeah, I respect women. I don't call them out of their names. I don't touch women, you know what I'm saying? Because I can control my emotions, and that's not cool. Like, that's just not what you do. So now you start having leaders that you can look to and say, oh, okay, this is how you treat women. This is how you do a relationship type thing. So I think the more people show how possible it is, the more, you know, women will, well, not even women, but society will see that, yeah, all men aren't dogs type thing.
Okay. All right. Mark?
I agree with everything that Mike said. Going back to your initial question. Yeah, I definitely think it's a negative connotation. You know, when we hear women talk about, you know, men being dogs and stuff, it's kind of like the whole idea that we'll plan our, you know what, anywhere. We just roam. But again, I think it truly is just up to, like you might say, you know, it's what's your pack? I mean, just, you know, relating to dogs and everything, like what type of dogs are you around? Because, you know, the whole idea of birds of a feather flock together and stuff. So it's like, hey, if you're in tight company, then more often than not, you're the average of the 5 people that you're around. You know what I'm saying? We all heard that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do definitely think that it is you know, it's be the first domino. That's just how I look at it. So like, yeah, everybody might have this association, but just like Mike said, until you see more and more people doing it, now it becomes cool to, you know what I'm saying, be faithful, to be loyal.
Yeah.
Versus, like you said, where it was at one point in time, you know, it wasn't a thing and everything. So it's all about just changing the narrative.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna run on the other side of this, right?
Should.
Because you guys,
that's what makes the podcast hot.
No, I'm just saying, like, come on, Skip. Come on now. Come on, Skip. Right? Like, looking at it from the standpoint, you know, and we were all there. I think we were all kind of associated around what it mean to be a dog. I think men are godlike, and when I say that, I'm not saying like we, you know, we're these, you know, not say even superficial, but like we're attracted to praise. You know what I mean? So when what we get praised in, that's what we gravitate to. You know, so if we're getting, you know, positive feedback from our boys because we talking to a gang of girls, that's what we're gonna keep doing. You know what I mean? That dog connotation was always a good thing as it related to us. You know, whether it was in a sport, whether it was in, you know, with girls, so on and so forth. And that's why I kind of perpetuated this mentality around, and not to say call them the dog mentality that you know, dog culture has created, but from the other side of it, looking at it like, why are men the way that they are? Right? And, you know, even when you first get a dog, what do you have to do with it?
Train it, yeah.
You got to train it, right? So when we're talking about our training, how does that play a role in this type of dog, this pedigree of dog that we become?
That's good. Well, I believe it's like it starts in the household then, right? If you grow up with it, right, and you see it, then you know, oh, this is how marriage is. This is how you treat females. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what chivalry looks like, type thing. So it is about the training, but I guess the question is, what happens to the kid without the role model in the home?
So I got a bar for you. I got
mad bars.
Everything come back around full circle. My man, J. Cole, right? I think it's the Climb Back, right?
Did you finish the bar?
Back. Yeah, the Climb Back. It's his new joint.
To Get Back.
Like, I just got off the phone with my boy. He back in the kennel. My dog lost. You feel me? Like, my dog lost, and that's how I feel about most dogs. Like, we lost.
That's crazy.
You feel me?
He got so many bars.
He got bars for days, right? So when we look at that, and I'm looking at it from the standpoint, like, what if I'm around a bunch of lost dogs?
I will be astray. I will continue to be astray until, I'm not going to say until I'm adopted, because you have the rescue, because a lot of people rescue dogs. Like, yeah, he's a rescue dog. I brought him in, and now he knows.
Well, I found my way back home.
Now they know what it's like to be loved. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was out there doing whatever, but somebody cared enough to say, yeah, I do love you. I care about you. And then this is how I treat people I care about. You know what I'm saying? It kind of works, right?
It kind of, but you have to be self-aware enough. So, like, I was telling my boy the other day this story about, I don't think I shared this with you guys. There was like two fish in the sea. Brother, like, what's water? Did you?
Yeah, first he had the two wolves, now it's two fish.
Check it out. Also, I didn't tell you about that.
Yeah.
You rocking with it.
It was two fish. They're swimming in the sea, right?
Uh-huh.
This big older fish like swims past them and says, "Water's nice today." The two fish just kind of like nod and just keep going. Then when they get to their destination, one of the fish asks, "What the hell is water?" Right? Yeah. So, like, the whole idea is that, like, when you're in something, you don't know what it's not. You feel what I mean? Yeah. So, like, how am I supposed to even be aware that, like, the pack that I'm in is the wrong pack? You get what I mean?
Right.
Until you're exposed to something different. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's one of those things where awareness
is Hold on, Mark. Go ahead. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Keep talking that. I don't know what you want to say, but I'm rocking with
it. Yeah, chill, bro. So, like, you know, it's just like, that's the question. The question is, like, how do you even become aware that you're in water? You know what I'm saying? If you've been in water for so long, how do you become aware that you're in the wrong pack when, like, you've been in this pack for so long? You've seen what you've seen for so long. How do you know that there's a other way?
But isn't that where the rescue comes in? Like, the people who decide to come back, and that's what I feel like we need. We need more people who reach a certain level and then are willing to reach back and be like, "Yo, this is how you do it." You know what I mean? Because ultimately, it's not really. This thing ain't about us. Like Dr. King, he lived his life for us, right? Malcolm X, he did what he did for us. So I believe so many people have to we have to grasp the concept of my success. Yes, it will affect me and my loved ones, but ultimately I need to see everybody win. You know what I mean? And for me, with everything going on in the world, like that's my mission, to understand financial literacy, to take dog culture to the next level, to show what marriage looks like, and then along the way, and then when I reach the level in which I believe like I have this information and I'm able to break it down to help people get it too, now we can like really go back to the people who need it. And I feel like that's what we need. We need people who are willing to go back and say, "Yo, that's not the way here." And I can show you, and I will walk with you. Because even me, like, when I started the whole real estate thing, I'm like, oh, they gonna take my hand and show me how to get my first crib. And I was like, oh yeah, bet. However, didn't happen that way. You know what I'm saying? This is like, I'm okay if I got to put the work in, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm willing to go back and walk somebody hand to hand if that's what you need. And sometimes, like, people just need that. They need to be, as a coach, there's different way to coach players. And I understand, like, oh, this kid needs me to he needs me to coach him during the play. Like, I have to tell him what to do while the play is in play. Some kids, I can just tell them what to do and they can catch it and they can do it. But it's different ways you got to coach like, there's different ways of learning. So I think we need more of us to, once we reach a level to where, okay, I have this information, this is exactly how you do it. And if they do it, they will get X, Y, and Z. So now we can go back and be like, yo, rock with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you how to become, like, the person you aspire to become, and not somebody else that, like, you think you have to be because you've been hanging around, you know, people that, you know, do what they do. But you want to do, like, I want to see you do better. Even if you don't know what better looks like, I can show you what better looks like, and then I can walk you along the way.
So check this out. I think this is where we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this. Mm-hmm. My bad, Paul. I don't know if you had something brewing, but
no. I'm happy to get work.
So here we go, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
All that sound great, right?
Yeah.
But this is where, like, you really, really want to, like, bring a lot of value.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for that kid who doesn't have that coach that's able to come back and reach out and show him the way? So check this out. The reason why you can answer this, this is where, in my opinion, dog culture was birthed.
Right.
What did you do when you didn't have the other person that survived cancer to talk to get through what you had to get through? Because I think that would apply for the kid that may not have the role model to look up to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you have no model, what do you do? How do you birth that dog when you have no dog to model?
So here's the thing, and that is a very good question. And it's sticky because there's a lot of people who get lost along the way who don't have anything to look at to say, oh, this is how I'm supposed to respond. I honestly believe it's like, in order to reach the person who has no one to look at, we have to be able to get a bigger, a following, if you will. Like, we have to be able to reach the world. We have to get our voices to a platform to a point where everybody knows, like, everybody knows Nike, right? Everybody knows the saying, just do it. Everybody knows Under Armour, protect this house. When everybody knows your name, I wanna go where. When everybody knows your name, right? Now they can see it, and to be able to at least connect or Google, whatever, type in what we do and what we stand for. Because I don't even know if that makes sense. When I was coaching, Deron would tell me, everybody, you can't save everybody, right? And I'm like, I can save everybody. But there were some kids who they just didn't want. You know what I mean? And that's the part where I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't want the help. I'd be like, yo, I try to rock with them. You shouldn't do that. I talk to them. All right, I got you, coach. They go out, bow. Now I got life in prison because I just did what I did, type thing. And that happened a couple times with me at Largo. And I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? He said, you can't save everybody. But, like, how can we give up on those people? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't feel like, we should, I can't accept that. And I don't know how to reach every single person, but I do know that when you put yourself in a position where your platform is big enough and everybody can see you, you can reach more. So I'm honestly, for me, it took like football kind of put me in that place of knowing how to think when I was in that situation. So I don't really know how to say that individual who doesn't have the coaching, because I didn't know what to do. But what my lifestyle leading up until 24, 25, when I was in the hospital, everything that my father taught me. I can only give you what I know. So football taught me, or the competition. We was talking yesterday about how my Coach Rick brought the best out of us by forcing us to compete. Like he would bring other dogs in, and like that would force you to show like what you really had. So that part in my football career prepared me for when cancer was like, what's up? Like, how you gonna act? So for the guy who doesn't have that, that's a good question. Because the way I did it, even though I didn't know what to do in that space, I just knew what I knew from playing being a football player. So
yeah. So one of the things, shout out Inky. He said, when it's wartime, all you do is revert back to your training.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? What's in there is what comes out. It's not like you're doing something extravagantly different. It's something that you've been, kind of trained for. You know, and as we redefine this dog and really trying to, retrain, right? Because you could be retrained. Although you have, former training, you could be retrained. Go ahead, do you think? One of the biggest things I think that we got to really look at is understanding that you got to unlearn some of the stuff that you learned. You got to be untrained with some of the mentalities, whether it's being misogynistic towards women, giving up, quitting, not being there for your family, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? We really got to realign and set these priorities straight for these new dogs, especially the young pups coming out. Like I get it. They live in a new world from us a little bit, right? With social media, different things, they're praised in a lot of different areas that we didn't necessarily have to worry about. But it's really setting them straight on the focus. Like, you don't really need all of that noise. Even though you might be in the noise, you might be around it, you don't really need all of that fanfare. What you got to figure out is what's most important, and you stand on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the fight is coming, whether it's football, whether it's life, whether it's relationship, whatever it is, it's going to come, right? And you look at the rates right now, the divorce rates right now, they higher than they ever been.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to think, like, why is it like that? Why are we in the situation now where we're the wealthiest country in the world? People are making more money than they ever made, but it's still this friction around men and women. It's still this friction around, dogs really being dogs, not the old dogs, but when we talk about this, the DAWG, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? Let's make this. If you're gonna be a dog, let it stand for something solid.
Yeah.
When we used to say dog, he a dog. Like, I want that. Like this brand we got on our chest. I want that to resonate throughout. Like, if they say, they put on that dog, he a stand up father.
Yeah.
He a stand up man. He bigger than the athlete. This is bigger than athletics.
Yeah.
And if you do wear it on the field, you probably one of the best out there.
Right.
You don't just put it on your chest to put it on your chest. We ain't just rocking it to rock it. It means something when you wear it. Just like when people used to buy Jordans. Buying Jordans meant something.
Yeah. Right.
You feel me? Like, Jordan meant something. So in the same way, like, we competing with Jordan. We competing with Nike, Under Armour, Reebok, Adidas. But it's a mentality that we selling. We're not selling clothes. It's bigger than an athletic apparel brand.
Lifestyle.
Really, talking to the mindset. So I want you to really, dive into that mindset.
Talking to me?
Yeah, both of y'all.
So I'll let Mark get to it if you want to. But I'll get to it. So I just honestly believe, man, it's not. I know everyone has it, but it's just you have to be put in a situation where something where like I was talking to the kid about the desperation. You have to be put in a situation where it means enough to you to to actually want to think differently. When people have children, so I've heard, like your mindset, your perspective shifts, right?
A lot like when you got married.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just adds to, and that's why I think once I get children, like I'm going to reach another level instantly because now there is more at stake,
right?
If you will. But there has to be a time in your life where either you choose it or you have no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But to think differently. And the DAWG mindset is really like
when you're back against the wall type.
Yeah, like when you're in that space of, and I'll kill or be killed, because life isn't as sweet and fluffy as people would like it to seem. And you're gonna have those times or those moments where it's like, yo, and it doesn't have to be like literally kill or be killed, but if I lose my mind type thing, like if I can't be strong enough to get through this, you see people who do commit suicide. You see people who are walking on the street and they just wilding out. And I believe personally it's like that's the mental strength that they may have lacked, and they weren't able to come out of that space where, you know, they lost control type thing. And I just believe, man, it's being able to be strong enough mentally to say, I got this, and not letting my circumstances dictate my reality. And it's not easy. And that's why I honestly take these kids through hell on the hill, because that's how I learned. But I wasn't able to apply it. And this is what I'm saying, Mark, when I got in the situation, I wasn't able to apply it until I really needed it. I wasn't able to just be like, jump into a situation, oh, I'm a dog. Like, no, I really needed it in order to live. I really, like, when something happens in life and you feel like I really gotta go there. But how do I go there? I've been trained.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Physically and mentally, I've been trained to keep going when times get hard.
Well, I guess we are training dogs, huh? I can remember Bugs had that little joke like, oh, yeah, you're training dogs over there?
Right. So we got less than a minute. How we going to do it?
Go ahead, Mark. End this out.
So that was good stuff, Mike. And it's funny how you tapped into that, because I didn't even think about that. It's not until your back's against the wall that your animal instincts are going to either show, or it's like that flight or flight. You know, you're either going to fight or you're going to run away.
Real quick, my bad. It's like the cat. The cat don't want no beef with the dog, but when it's up against the wall, it's like, hey, we're up, chat, chat, chat. Yeah.
Right. Dog's going to actually bark back at the situation. Now that's real, man. And I think the one thing we have to try to figure out, and I wish we had more of like action steps for people, is how do you manufacture it if you're not in a life or death situation? You know what I mean? I guess that's something we
can Mark. That's what we're gonna roll out over the next weeks. Yeah.
And we gotta find out how to reach the people who have no one, like who can't.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that role model. I mean,
right.
I'm glad you brought that up.
We are the role models.
That's what I'm saying. The platform gotta grow, baby.
Yeah, definitely has to.
30 seconds.
Is it? It's like 2 seconds.
No, I was estimating.
Hey, love is love. We're gonna stay here till we get kicked out, and we're gonna upgrade. We're definitely gonna upgrade.
Yeah. Well, let this affirmation just resonate in your system. I'm a dog.
Yeah.
I'm a dog.